Welcome back to Braintree Today. I'm Martha Konstandinidis and you're watching BCAM TV. Now we'll be getting into our latest stories from the week. Welcome back to Braintree Today. I'm Martha Konstandinidis and you're watching BCAM TV. Now we'll be getting into our latest stories from the week. A gunman attacked the U.S. Embassy just outside of Beirut on Wednesday before being wounded in a firefight with the Lebanese army and arrested. The U.S. Embassy said the incident took place at 8:34 a.m. local time, with small arms fire reported near the entrance of its compound. A local security guard was injured in the attack, according to an embassy spokesman. U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said that American staff at the embassy are safe and that the U.S. was working with local authorities to determine what happened and to ensure that there was no further threat. The attacker, a Syrian national, was taken to a local hospital. A senior Lebanese security official briefed on the incident said that the assailant shot at the entrance of the embassy compound. Lebanese soldiers nearby quickly shot back. According to the Lebanese security official, the gunman was wearing a helmet and had Islamic State written in Arabic on his vest. But it wasn't immediately clear if the attacker was connected to the militant group. The motive for the attack was unclear, but in recent weeks there has been an increase in hostilities along Lebanon's border with Israel. On Tuesday, President Biden unveiled a new executive action authorizing U.S. immigration officials to deport large number of migrants without processing their asylum claims. Biden's move suspends the processing of asylum claims between official entry points along the southern border, in turn allowing U.S. authorities to more quickly reject and deport migrants who enter the country unlawfully. The partial ban on asylum claims went into effect on Wednesday. Regular asylum processing will be restored 14 days after the Secretary of Homeland Security determines that the weekly average of daily illegal border crossings has dipped below 1,500. The proclamation could be activated again if the weekly average of daily crossings surpasses 2,500. The policy will not apply to unaccompanied children, those with acute medical conditions or fleeing imminent harm, and migrants who use legal pathways to enter the U.S. Just months after Disney and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' appointees agreed to end a protracted legal fight, the two sides are set to approve an agreement where Disney is investing up to $17 billion into its Florida resort and opens the door to a fifth major theme park at Walt Disney World. The five supervisors who oversee the Disney World District voted Wednesday to give initial approval to a new development agreement that both sides had agreed to negotiate. A second vote is required for final approval, which is set for next week. The earlier settlement that ended in March was an almost two-year litigation that was sparked by DeSantis revoking Disney's self-governing status following the company's opposition to a Florida law that banned classroom lessons on sexual orientation and gender identity in earlier grades. Third time's the charm for the Boeing Starliner mission after launching its first crewed flight test on Wednesday. The new spacecraft's highly anticipated voyage lifted off atop an Atlas V rocket from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. Veteran NASA astronauts Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams are riding aboard the Starliner capsule on a journey that takes them to the International Space Station. The mission, which was known as the Crew Flight Test, is a culmination of Boeing's efforts to develop a spacecraft to rival SpaceX's Crew Dragon capsule and expand the United States options for ferrying astronauts to the space station under NASA's Commercial Crew Program. NASA Administrator Bill Nelson noted in a May news conference that this flight marks only the sixth inaugural journey of a crewed spacecraft in U.S. history. The NCAA has agreed to share revenue with athletes in a $2.8 billion settlement. The settlement will resolve a case that began in 2020 that was seeking back pay for athletes who were barred from earning compensation for endorsements, as well as a cut of future broadcast revenues. For the first time ever, some players are going to be paid directly by their schools for playing their sports, a huge shift that will completely reshape the business model for the top end of this billion-dollar industry. The result is the creation of a system that will give Division I schools the ability to distribute roughly $20 million a year to their athletes. NCAA President Charlie Baker, in a joint statement with the commissioners of the 5 conferences named as co-defendants in the lawsuit, said, quote, "All of Division I made today's progress possible, and we all have work to do to implement the terms of the agreement as the legal process continues," end quote. Thanks for watching Braintree today. We'll be right back with more after the break.
Meet James. He was surprised to find out that he has elevated blood pressure, which could turn into high blood pressure. So he talked with his doctor about a healthy path to get his numbers down. He quit smoking, which makes a big difference for his overall heart health. He also cut down on salt by watching out for high sodium on food labels and added a 30-minute walk 5 days a week to his routine. These healthy steps weren't easy, but lowering his blood pressure was worth it. Learn more about his healthy path.
Welcome back. Trash and recycling in Braintree is getting an update. The town of Braintree posted a release alerting residents of new changes to the trash and recycling collection. Starting July 1st, Braintree will charge a $25 fee for every sticker issued. Stickers will no longer be included in the curbside trash collection fee. Also beginning July 1st, curbside trash collection fees will be $200 per residential unit for the year. This charge will be lumped in with Braintree's water and sewer bill. Other updates include the resident one-load fees, compost bin fees, and the nixing of mattress collections. For more information, head to braintreema.gov. In hopes of raising $8 million, officials announced the town will be holding a special election in June to ask its voters to decide on the permanent Prop 2.5 tax override. Town Clerk James Casey said there would be no early vote-by-mail option for the June 15th special election. This is due to several reasons, including cost and the short window to get ballots mailed out in time. If a voter is unable to show up to their polling place in person, they can still vote with an absentee ballot. For more information on how to get an absentee ballot, head to braintreema.gov. Braintree firefighters came to the rescue Wednesday morning after receiving a call for ducklings that had fallen into a storm drain at 501 Commerce Drive. The crew from Engine 2 jumped into action, removing 6 of the ducklings from the storm drain catch basin and releasing them into nearby bushes. Just as the crew was about to clear, it was discovered that 3 more were stuck under a manhole cover. So back underground they went to complete the rescue of all 9 ducklings. A short while later, and with a little assistance, the ducklings were reunited with their mom. The Braintree boys baseball team have made a splash in their playoff run, taking home 2 wins this week against Peabody and Weymouth. Braintree will now advance to the Elite 8 and will face Leominster in their next game. After the Bay State Conference win over Weymouth, BCAM TV's very own Mike Wassel took a moment to speak with a few players about their performance. Here's more.
Back here at Braintree High School with 2 Braintree players, Max DeRoche, the pitcher, Sean Canavan, the winning hitter. First, I'm going to talk with you, Max. Just a masterful performance, going 8 innings. How you feeling?
Feeling great. A little tired, but great win.
You end up finishing as strong as you started, striking out the side in that 8th inning to put you guys with an opportunity to win the game. Pitch count was low early, but obviously very stressful in a tight game against a team that you know. How tough was it to beat Weymouth 3 times now this year?
Definitely tough. They're a great team. They're our rival. It's always good to beat them. We had to work hard to get here, and it was a great game.
And now over to Sean. Obviously the big hit, the winning hit. You had the 2-run homer last game against Peabody, but here today in extra innings it was a single that ultimately was the final hit that won the game. What were you seeing on the pitch and what were you able to do?
I faced him earlier in the game and he was throwing me a lot of fastballs and I just wanted to get on it early and I saw one and I just knew what to do with it.
I was talking about during the broadcast, the defense was very deep. I don't know if you noticed when you were hitting, and I said if the ball is hit into the outfield, they have no chance of throwing anybody out. Was that part of your approach, just to put the bat on the ball and single and let your base runners do the rest?
I saw Peter and Hayden get 2 singles I had them on first and second. All I needed to do was just get it in the outfield, get it in play.
And now you guys will move on to face either Leominster. I don't remember the other team that was in that bracket. I think it was at Westford Academy, I think was the other team that was there. Any scouting report, anything you guys know about either of those two teams? I'll start with you first.
I haven't really looked. I was just focusing on this Weymouth game.
And anything for you? Do you know anything about either the two opponents that you might be looking at?
I know they're both good teams. They both have good pitching. We'll face their ace, and we just have to go play our game.
Well, great win, guys. We'll see you guys in the next game here at home. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Last weekend, members of the Braintree High School class of 2024 walked across the stage for their graduation ceremony. The sunny day held many bright moments for the class of 2024 as they sat before their classmates and listened to speeches from the valedictorian, salutatorian, and other teacher and staff members. Before finishing the ceremony, the graduates walked across the stage to get their diplomas and threw their caps up in the air together to celebrate the last 4 years. Here's more from the class of 2024's graduation.
It's true. All of you here took part in helping me realize that success has no time, no criteria, and no limits. That success isn't solely defined by a number marked on a transcript. That success can derive from something as simple as seeing your peers laughing and dancing together at prom. And that success comes into our lives with hard work and good intentions, and it will come and go. Every day, we all, in our own ways, define success.
These fun class environments have taught me a lesson I've seen daily. Together we had large fanny packs. We also had Family Feud, BHS pageant, plays, and playoff games. And I believe as a class that works hard, it's important to also play just as hard. And it was during these times that we came together as a class. These were the moments that connected us, despite our many differences. So, merci, Madam Heller, for everything you've taught me over these last years. Your impact will last on us for the rest of our lives. So as we approach the start of a new chapter, it's important to keep in mind the playfulness that got us this far. Not only have the lessons we've learned in the classroom defined our path, but the moments of fun made our days exciting. So let's take the spirit of adventure into the future.
Regardless of how vastly different our high school experiences were, we all made it, and I couldn't be more proud of each of you for that. I encourage you to take a look around this field. Sure, there might be some faces you've never seen before in your life, including mine, but know that we've shaped each other's lives in some way or another. Whether it's through sacrificing sleep with your friends to cram for your physics test the next day, or just being on the same lacrosse team during freshman year, we wouldn't be here today without each other.
Actually, there are a multitude of ways that we as a class have invested time to change ourselves and our communities for the better, potentially in ways we might not have immediately realized. For example, spending late weekend nights gallivanting with our friends might not have readily appeared a productive endeavor. But if you think about it, it was productive. It helped to create stronger bonds and connections with those people, ones that will hopefully last the rest of our lives. Getting up at 7 a.m. on a Sunday to start your minimum wage shift at Shaw's probably wasn't extremely pleasant in the moment, but it was a better investment of our time compared to waking up at noon and passing what remained of the day scrolling Instagram Reels. Even activities as mundane as watching over your little sister every Monday night until your dad could get home from work, or making sure your dog was fed while your parents were off to who knows where on business trips, provided invaluable support, not only to ourselves, but to others, an arguably more virtuous goal, as well as a lesson in personal responsibility.
The Braintree Parks and Recreation Department will be holding summer fun programs for kids this year. The first 2 weeks of August, the department has organized 2 different themed weeks for kids in K through 4th grade. From August 5th through the 9th, Animal Planet Week will give kids the opportunity to learn about a variety of animals and their habitats. Each day will be a different animal-themed arts project. The following week, from August 12th to the 16th, Space Expeditions will be a week where kids get to learn about the solar system by creating space-themed art projects and by participating in space-themed games and activities. Both events have a fee of $250, and you can sign up now on braintreema.myrec.com. Thank you for watching Braintree Today on BCAM TV. We'll be right back with more stories in the area.
Take steps to keep yourself and your family safe from ticks and the illnesses they can cause. Use EPA-approved tick repellents on your skin and clothes. Read and follow the directions. Wear light-colored clothing to make it easier to spot a crawling tick. Check for ticks on yourself, your kids, and your pets anytime you've been outdoors. Some tick bites can make you sick, but finding and removing a tick properly makes it less likely. Call your doctor if you start to feel ill or notice a rash near the bite. Play it safe when you're outdoors.
Welcome back to Braintree Today. Now let's get right into more stories. A new study shows the number of households in Massachusetts living with food insecurity hit a new high in 2023. According to a study from the Greater Boston Food Bank, about 1.9 million residents are struggling due to factors like inflation, the cost of housing, and continued fallout from the COVID-19 pandemic. The 34% of households that experienced food insecurity in 2023 were on average $60 short each week of affording enough food. Alleviating that burden would have cost the state about $1.7 billion, according to the study. Safety nets like SNAP food assistance and food banks were not enough to make up the gap, with many households included in the study already using 2 or more food assistance programs. According to the GBFB, the research was conducted through an online survey of more than 3,000 adults in Massachusetts. The survey included quotas for income, gender, race, ethnicity, age, education, and region, and weighting methods were also used to create estimates representative of the Massachusetts population. The Massachusetts Migrant Family Shelter Program has kicked out more than 20 people for inappropriate actions. According to the Boston Herald, the Massachusetts Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities recently sent 22 separation from household letters to those in the Emergency Assistance Family Shelter programs, expelling them but referring them to individual adult homeless shelters. The Herald obtained these ejection letters through a public records request. Through this, it was found that a 29-year-old man was reportedly expelled from a hotel in Marlborough that houses migrant families as a 16-year-old girl staying at the hotel got a restraining order against him. Of the 22 recent separation from household letters, 21 of them cited inappropriate actions in the Migrant Family Shelter Program. Jessica Vaughn, of the Center for Immigration Studies, told the Herald, quote, "It's concerning for the communities where these people have been placed, and it's concerning for the other migrants who are in these shelters," end quote. She noted that the border is so overwhelmed that federal authorities are not able to conduct meaningful vetting. A handwritten card left on the front doors of the former Quincy Center IHOP informs customers of its permanent closure. Pancake lovers need not fear, as a new IHOP will reopen across the street at 181 Parking Way next to Petco. The old IHOP building is set to be demolished for a large commercial and residential project by Atlantic Development that includes a Trader Joe's, a 6-story, 300-unit residential building, and a parking garage. It's unclear when the new IHOP will open, but Chris Walker, Chief of Staff to Mayor Thomas Koch, said workers will have to complete alterations to the now vacant property to accommodate a restaurant. On Monday night, Quincy City officials voted to give the mayor a hefty pay raise, upsetting a number of taxpayers. If finalized in the subsequent vote by the City Council, Quincy Mayor Thomas Koch will make a whopping $285,000 a year, representing a 79% raise. Koch is serving his 7th term as mayor of Quincy and has not had a raise in nearly 10 years. Regardless, many taxpayers feel this raise is way too much. There was a group of Quincy residents standing outside the meeting Monday night, holding signs that read, "Stop the raise," "Just say no," and 79% is wrong. In a statement to NBC Boston, Mayor Koch said, quote, "Considering we only do this once every 10 years or more, we propose a number that strikes a balance between the outside analysis of a much higher figure, current salaries for a number of similar positions in other communities, and where these salaries will be on a wider scale," end quote. Any approved pay raise would go into effect at the beginning of next year. New electric vehicle fast charging stations are now available in Weymouth, but they may look a little different than the typical. Next to shawarma and shakes in Weymouth, in a hidden-away enclosure is a bank of lithium-ion batteries that take up a full parking space. The batteries at 850 Washington Street allow the station to charge electric vehicles at high speed without a high-voltage connection to the electrical grid. It's a clever hack that allowed owners Sean Ward and Matt Kelkhorst to avoid a multi-year backlog for electrical components, and they even got the station built in just 6 months. Most other EV charging projects in the state haven't been getting very far, largely because of a shortage of a basic but crucial piece of equipment: higher voltage transformers. Wait times for this piece of gear can stretch for more than 2 years. This delays a critical part of the state's strategy to combat climate change that relies on persuading almost 1 million drivers to switch to EVs by 2030. Thanks for watching Braintree Today. We'll be right back with more in entertainment.
Hi, I'm Tom Lyons, a retired captain from the Quincy Fire Department and the author of the book Fighting Fire, A Proactive Approach. Do you know that electrical failures are the third leading cause of home fires? Cords and plugs led in this category, while extension cords dominated this category. To avoid these fires, plug heat-generated appliances directly into an outlet. Do not use power strips or extension cords on these appliances. Power strips are designed for use with electronics only. Do not put electrical cords underneath rugs or pinch behind furniture. Do not overload outlets. Charge laptops and phones on hard surfaces only. Finally, if an electrical device is not working as designed, it is time to repair it or replace it. Be conscious of your home environment and be safe, and thank you for doing so.
Welcome back to Braintree Today. This week in entertainment, we have some movie and television recommendations for you to watch. First, Ren Fair is a 3-part documentary series that follows the king of America's largest Renaissance festival. After he declares his retirement, an epic power struggle ensues between an actor, a former elephant trainer, and a kettle corn kingpin to claim his throne. The series stars Jeffrey Baldwin and Darla Smith. You can watch Ren Fair now on Max. Next, Eric is a 6-part miniseries that follows Vincent, a grief-stricken father whose son goes missing and finds solace through his friendship with Eric, a monster that lives under Edgar's bed. The series stars Benedict Cumberbatch and Gabby Hoffman. You can watch Eric now on Netflix. Finally, Under Paris follows a grieving scientist who finds out about a giant shark in the Seine. In order to save Paris from an international bloodbath, she must face her tragic past. The film stars Berenice Bejo and Nassim Lies. You can watch Under Paris now on Netflix. That'll do it for news today. Remember, if you're a customer of Verizon, you can watch BCAM TV in high definition on channel 2128. I'm Martha Konstandinidis, and thank you for watching Braintree Today on BCAM TV. We'll see you next time.